Bring in former Navy intelligence officer Jack Posobiec, who also keeps a keen eye on the America First movement as well. Jack, welcome. Always good to see you. I mean, this president laughed at by the mainstream media, the elites in Europe and elsewhere at Davos and whatnot, when he said, you know, NATO's got to pay its fair share. As you hear Secretary Wilkie, the president is carrying the day on that, reshaping the world before our eyes. And Jack, people are doing the Trump dance in Tehran. They're doing Iranian Americans doing the Trump dance in Los Angeles. What's going on?
Well, you know, it's really interesting, Ed, and good to be on with you, because here you have President Donald Trump, who comes in. He's been a businessman his entire life. He's been in the private sector. He's been someone who works in the real world, having to put people to work, having to build things. He doesn't come from the political class. He doesn't come from any of these families that have been involved in politics for so long. And so perhaps that's why he's able to put points on the board much faster and much quicker than we've ever seen any president do before. This is an entirely new approach to foreign policy, and one that's seeing dividends immediately. If you look at what he's done, of course, with Operation Midnight Hammer back in June, then down to Venezuela. Look, and now, of course, what we're seeing today, we're seeing a president who understands that there are ways to do these things that don't require this massive amount of commitment of ground troops and trying to, you know, produce the gender studies in Afghanistan program and curriculum that Barack Obama was pushing, as well as, by the way, sending the hundreds and millions and pallets of cash and billions of dollars to Iran in the first place. There always has been another way, and President Trump has been the one to find it.
Yeah, and to your point about ground troops, Afghanistan, Iraq, tens of thousands of boots on the ground. Looking into the crystal ball, the days ahead, what steps do you think the president has to take to make sure the America First movement, the MAGA movement, is still with them? Because you hear about some people within the movement saying, well, hang on a second, regime change. And you know, I thought he was focused on the economy in that state. I mean, it was only a couple of days ago that he was talking all about domestic, and I understand there's national security. It never sleeps, the national security challenges. But what would you say to some watching tonight in the America First movement saying, I thought he wasn't for regime change? How do you kind of square that?
Look, I would say that this is not going to be a forever war. And we need to push at the same time. By the way, if that's what your goal is, then absolutely advocate for that, because we're not seeing those massive troop movements. We're not seeing Marine Expeditionary Units. We're not seeing National Guard for the Army being called up like we did in the Bush years. We're not seeing those types of things. President Trump has said 4 weeks. J.D. Vance has come out and said that this is going to be a multi-week process, but it's not going to be one of those other forever wars where people are deployed for months and then years with no clear end game in sight. That's what we saw before. This is the new Trump movement, new Trump policy with direct effects immediately.
The Don Roe Doctrine, I guess, as they like to call it. Jack Posobiec explaining it so well as always. We appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
All right.